He was once America's dad. Now his name sparks controversy around the world. Behind the headlines, Bill Cosby still lives a life of extraordinary wealth, secrecy, and complexity. From his sprawling estates, long-suffering wife, and children caught in the storm, to a net worth that has surprisingly endured, Cosby's world is a mix of luxury and infamy. Step inside the private life of a man the world can't stop talking about. As of March 12, 2025, Bill Cosby's net worth is estimated at approximately $400 million, according to an article published by comingsoon.net. This substantial figure reflects the enduring financial impact of his long and influential career in the entertainment industry, which began in the 1960s and spanned multiple decades. Cosby rose to fame through stand-up comedy, hit television shows such as I Spy and The Cosby Show, and numerous other projects in television, film, and literature. Despite his later legal controversies, many of his earlier works continue to generate revenue through residuals and royalties, which contribute significantly to his net worth. In addition to his entertainment earnings, Cosby also made wise financial investments, particularly in real estate, which further cemented his wealth. One prominent example of his real estate holdings was a Tudor-style mansion located in the affluent Pacific Palisades neighborhood of Los Angeles. The elegant estate, encompassing just over 4,500 square feet, stood as a testament to Cosby's considerable financial success and his taste for classic architecture. This four-bedroom, four-bathroom residence boasted several features that underscored its upscale character. Set at the end of a winding road, the mansion was designed to provide both privacy and prestige. The property was gated and enclosed within a secluded, tree-lined setting, offering an exclusive retreat in one of Los Angeles's most desirable communities. The exterior design followed the traditional Tudor aesthetic, marked by steeply pitched gable roofs, decorative half-timbering, and the use of masonry. Mature landscaping surrounded the house, creating a lush, manicured environment with carefully maintained gardens, hedges, and shaded walkways. Distinctive architectural details included massive, ornate chimneys rising prominently from the roofline, lending a sense of grandeur and old-world charm. The home's narrow, vertically oriented windows enhanced the Tudor character while allowing in filtered natural light, contributing to a warm, atmospheric interior. Though the house was luxurious, it retained a sense of timeless elegance rather than overt flashiness. The combination of privacy, craftsmanship, and location made it a valuable asset within Cosby's portfolio. Given its size, style, and placement in Pacific Palisades, a neighborhood known for attracting celebrities, business moguls, and influential figures, the mansion likely appreciated in value over the years, contributing further to Cosby's substantial net worth. Since June 1983, Bill Cosby and his wife, Camille, have resided in a stately 1800s-era stone colonial home located in Elkins Park, Pennsylvania, a suburb just outside of Philadelphia. This historic residence, spanning an impressive 5,835 square feet, has served as the couple's primary residence for decades. Nestled on a serene 3-acre estate, the home reflects a blend of classic American architecture and modern comfort, providing both elegance and seclusion. The colonial-style house is built from sturdy local stone, characteristic of Pennsylvania's early residential construction. With 5 spacious bedrooms and 4.5 bathrooms, the interior of the home was designed to accommodate both luxury and functionality. Original architectural details, such as wide plank wood floors, intricate moldings, and traditional layout elements, likely remain intact or have been carefully restored, preserving the residence's historical integrity. A defining feature of the property is its emphasis on privacy. The estate is gated and surrounded by mature trees and dense landscaping, providing a natural barrier from neighboring properties and the outside world. The long wooded driveway and sprawling lawn create a peaceful park-like environment, shielding the Cosbys from public view and allowing them to enjoy a tranquil lifestyle. Inside, the home is equipped with central air conditioning, a modern upgrade that ensures comfort during Pennsylvania's humid summers, along with 3 fireplaces that serve as cozy focal points during the colder months. These fireplaces likely enhance the character of the home's formal living areas, including a grand sitting room, dining room, and possibly a study or library. The estate has been more than just a residence. It has been the backdrop for significant moments in the Cosbys' personal and public lives. Camille Cosby, known for her quiet strength and dedication to her family, managed much of the household's affairs while also playing a key role in philanthropic efforts. The home served as a refuge during the most turbulent periods of Cosby's career and legal battles, offering the family a sense of continuity and stability. Purchased in 1980, Bill Cosby's elegant Lenox Hill brownstone in Manhattan was once a symbol of his immense success and prominence in American entertainment. Located in one of New York City's most prestigious neighborhoods on the Upper East Side, this stately 4-story residence offered both architectural charm and luxurious living across approximately 5,000 square feet. The home featured 6 bedrooms and 6 bathrooms, 4 full and 2 half, providing ample space for a large family or for hosting guests in comfort and style. The brownstone's layout was carefully designed to balance grandeur with livability. Among its most striking features were 5 fireplaces, likely original or restored, which added warmth and historic character to the main rooms. The formal dining room provided a sophisticated setting for entertaining, while the sunroom offered a more relaxed atmosphere, drenched in natural light and likely overlooking the garden. An elevator connected all 4 floors, offering both convenience and accessibility, especially as Cosby aged. The private garden at the rear of the home provided a rare and tranquil outdoor space in the heart of Manhattan, a feature few city residences can boast. This secluded garden would have served as a quiet retreat from the bustle of the city, ideal for reading, entertaining, or spending time with family away from the public eye. The overall property seamlessly blended historic charm with modern luxury, reflecting Cosby's taste and status at the height of his fame. However, by April 2025, the property's narrative took a dramatic turn. A foreclosure listing, quietly filed and largely unpublicized, revealed that the home had fallen into financial distress. According to the listing, there was a default on a city mortgage loan valued at approximately $4.2 million. This news came as a surprise to many, considering Cosby's previously reported net worth of around $400 million. It raised questions about the management of his assets and the financial toll of prolonged legal battles, including mounting legal fees and potential settlements stemming from years of litigation and controversy. The foreclosure did not receive widespread media coverage initially, possibly due to its discreet handling or a desire by those involved to avoid public scrutiny. Still, for those who remembered the brownstone as a proud symbol of Cosby's empire, the development marked a sobering moment. Once a luxurious refuge and representation of personal achievement, the Lenox Hill home became yet another chapter in the complex and often contradictory legacy of Bill Cosby. Its looming loss underscored the shifting tides of fortune and reputation that have defined his later years. Another notable property once tied to Bill Cosby is a grand Beaux-Arts mansion located on Manhattan's prestigious Upper East Side. Purchased around 1987, this palatial 6-story residence stands as one of the most extravagant homes in Cosby's real estate portfolio. Spanning approximately 12,000 square feet, the mansion is an architectural gem, reflecting the opulence and grandeur typical of the Beaux-Arts style, with its symmetrical facade, ornate detailing, and stately limestone exterior. This impressive property was financed through a substantial $17.5 million loan, signaling both the scale of the investment and Cosby's financial confidence at the height of his career. The mansion likely boasted an array of luxurious features: sweeping staircases, high ceilings with intricate moldings, vast entertaining spaces, multiple fireplaces, and grand rooms suitable for formal gatherings, private events, or high-profile meetings. Given its size, it would also have included an elevator servicing all 6 floors, several bedrooms with ensuite baths, dedicated staff quarters, and perhaps a library, wine cellar, or even an indoor spa or gym, typical amenities in such elite residences. Strategically situated in the heart of one of New York's most exclusive neighborhoods, the mansion not only symbolized immense wealth, but also reflected Cosby's social and cultural influence during the late 20th century. In many ways, this home represented a pinnacle of prestige and legacy, especially for a black entertainer who had broken numerous barriers in television and comedy. Its presence on the Upper East Side marked both personal triumph and cultural significance. However, the property's fortunes shifted dramatically in recent years. Since late 2024, it has been the subject of ongoing foreclosure proceedings. According to court filings, the property is now tied up in complex litigation, with the original mortgage in jeopardy due to missed payments or defaults. The exact details of the legal dispute remain confidential in parts, but sources suggest the foreclosure process was initiated as a result of mounting financial strain, possibly linked to legal costs from Cosby's many lawsuits and the impact of lost income following the decline of his public career. The ongoing litigation has left the mansion in a state of limbo, still technically owned, yet no longer secure. While it has not yet changed hands, its future remains uncertain. For many observers, the mansion's legal troubles reflect the broader unraveling of Cosby's once tightly controlled empire. Once a symbol of success and permanence, the Grand Beaux-Arts residence now stands as a poignant reminder of a legacy complicated by scandal, financial strain, and the long shadow of public reckoning. Now, let's talk about Bill Cosby's personal life. He has been married to the former Camille Hanks since January 25, 1964, marking a union that has spanned more than 6 decades. Together, they have raised 5 children: daughters Erica, born 1965, Erin, born 1966, Ensa, 1973 to 2018, and Evan, born 1976, and their only son, Ennis, 1969 to 1997. Despite Cosby's public acclaim and immense career success, the family has experienced deep personal tragedy over the years. On January 16, 1997, Ennis was murdered during an attempted robbery while changing a flat tire on the shoulder of Interstate 405 in Los Angeles. His violent and untimely death shocked the nation and devastated the Cosby family. 2 decades later, heartbreak struck again when Ensa died at age 44 from renal disease on February 23, 2018, while awaiting a kidney transplant. These losses have left lasting scars on the Cosbys, who now have 3 grandchildren and maintain a notably private family life. Throughout their marriage, the Cosbys have maintained residences in Cheltenham, Pennsylvania, and Shelburne, Massachusetts. These homes have long served as personal retreats and centers for their family, artistic interests, and philanthropic endeavors. Despite the public scrutiny that would later surround Cosby, his and Camille's commitment to the arts, particularly African-American culture, remained central to their lives. Since 1967, the couple has amassed a private collection of more than 300 works of African-American art. In 2014, selections from this collection were featured in the Smithsonian's National Museum of African Art in an exhibition titled Conversations. Though the exhibit was met with controversy due to resurfacing sexual assault allegations against Cosby, it also underscored the couple's long-standing contributions to African-American cultural preservation. Cosby's affinity for music, particularly jazz, is another lesser-known facet of his life. A skilled jazz drummer, he has performed publicly on bass guitar alongside entertainers like Jerry Lewis and Sammy Davis Jr. on Hugh Hefner's 1970s talk show. From 1979 to 2012, Cosby served as host of the Los Angeles Playboy Jazz Festival and later became actively involved with the Jazz Foundation of America. Beginning in 2004, he was a featured host for the foundation's annual benefit concert, A Great Night in Harlem, held at the Apollo Theater in New York City. Educationally and socially, Cosby remained connected to his roots. A dedicated alumnus of Temple University, he was a visible supporter of the school's basketball program and frequently attended Temple Owls games before his legal troubles escalated. He was initiated into the Omega Psi Phi fraternity's Beta Alpha Alpha graduate chapter in White Plains, New York, in 1988, and even briefly served on the CDC Foundation's board of directors. In recent years, Cosby's health has visibly declined. In 2016, his attorneys revealed that he had become legally blind, a condition reportedly emerging around 2015. Cosby himself confirmed the loss of vision in an April 2017 interview with the National Newspaper Publishers Association, citing a desire to share his experience in a factual, less sensationalized context. Following his release from prison in 2021 after the overturning of his conviction, Cosby and his team began exploring a post-prison comeback. Plans included a stand-up comedy tour across the U.S., Canada, and London, as well as a 5-part docuseries chronicling his career, legal battles, and time behind bars. He was also reported to be working on a book. However, by September of that year, these efforts were reportedly paused due to ongoing legal complications, placing his future in the entertainment world in limbo. The earliest known allegation of sexual misconduct against Bill Cosby dates back to December 1965, marking the beginning of a long trail of accusations that would span decades. In 2005, Christina Rulli stepped forward as Jane Doe No. 12 in the high-profile Andrea Constant case. Rulli alleged that Cosby had drugged and sexually assaulted her at his Beverly Hills home in the mid-1960s when she was just 22 years old and working as a secretary at a talent agency. According to Rulli, she was invited to Cosby's home under the pretense of attending a party. When she arrived, however, she found herself alone with him. After accepting a drink, she claimed to have blacked out, only to wake up naked in a bed with Cosby attempting to force her into sexual activity. She said she managed to escape before he could complete the assault. Rulli also stated that she confided in her boyfriend shortly after the incident and told her daughter about it years later in the 1980s, giving her story a timeline of disclosure that predates the public surfacing of other similar allegations. In the early 1980s, another woman, Joan Tarshis, shared a similar account of alleged abuse with freelance journalist John Millward. Tarshis, a young writer and actress at the time, told Millward that she had been assaulted by Cosby during the 1960s. However, despite the seriousness of the claims, Millward chose not to report the story, and it remained unpublished for decades. Tarshis would later come forward publicly in 2014, as a growing number of women accused Cosby of sexual misconduct. Another significant yet initially hidden allegation came from Victoria Valentino, a former Playboy playmate. In 1996, she gave a videotaped interview in which she detailed an alleged assault by Cosby that took place years earlier. Valentino claimed that Cosby had drugged and raped her after a night out, during which she was emotionally vulnerable following the death of her 6-year-old son. The interview, intended for an exposé about the personal struggles of Playboy models, was ultimately never released, and her claims did not come to light until much later. The issue of public awareness was also echoed by television and radio personality Wendy Williams. In 2014, amid the resurfacing of multiple allegations, Williams recounted an incident from 1990 during her tenure as a radio host. She said that she had referenced allegations against Cosby that had been reported in the National Enquirer, only to receive swift and aggressive backlash. Cosby, she claimed, called her boss live during her show and demanded that she be fired, demonstrating his influence and determination to suppress any public scrutiny. On February 1, 2000, a troubling criminal complaint was filed against Bill Cosby by 20-year-old Lachelle Covington. According to Detective Jose McCallion of the New York County District Attorney's Special Victims Bureau, Covington alleged that just days earlier, on January 28, 2000, Cosby had sexually assaulted her at his Manhattan townhouse. She claimed that Cosby attempted to place her hands down his pants, exposed himself, groped her breasts, and then tried to put his hands down her pants. Cosby was questioned and denied all the allegations, stating it was not true. The New York Police Department forwarded the case to the district attorney's office, but prosecutors declined to press charges. Although the legal process halted there, the complaint would later be viewed as part of a broader and disturbing pattern of similar accusations that began to emerge in increasing volume during the next 2 decades. 4 years later, in January 2004, Andrea Constand, a former Temple University employee, accused Cosby of drugging and sexually assaulting her at his home in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. She claimed that Cosby had given her pills that left her semi-conscious before fondling her. However, by February 2005, the district attorney declined to press charges, citing a lack of sufficient credible and admissible evidence. That same year, Constand filed a civil lawsuit in March, which named Cosby as the defendant and included 13 other women prepared to testify with similar allegations if the case went to trial. Cosby ultimately settled the lawsuit out of court for an undisclosed sum in November 2006. As news of the Constant case spread, additional women began coming forward. Among them was Tamara Lucier Green, a California attorney who, in February 2005, alleged that Cosby had drugged and sexually assaulted her in the 1970s. Cosby's legal team denied the accusation, stating he had no recollection of Green and that the events did not happen. Soon after, Beth Ferrier, one of the anonymous Jane Doe witnesses in the Constant suit, came forward in a July 2005 Philadelphia Daily News interview, stating that Cosby had drugged her coffee in 1984 and she awoke to find her clothing partially removed. That same year, another accuser, Sean Upshaw Brown, with whom Cosby had previously admitted to having an affair in the 1970s, told the National Enquirer that he had drugged and raped her the last time they had been together. Brown is also the mother of Autumn Jackson, the woman who in 1997 was convicted of trying to extort Cosby by threatening to go public with the claim that he was her biological father. In 2015, Brown offered even more detail, revisiting her allegations in a renewed public interview. On June 9, 2006, Philadelphia Magazine published a deeply impactful piece by journalist Robert Huber titled, "Dr. Huxtable and Mr. Hyde." Drawing a stark contrast between Cosby's beloved television persona and the mounting allegations, Huber documented not only Andrea Constand's story, but also the allegations from Green, Ferrier, and others. He ominously noted that while Cosby's lawyers had managed to keep the scandal from boiling over, it still had the potential to bubble up to destroy him. One of the most compelling voices in the article was Barbara Bowman, who, after reading about Constand's ordeal, broke her own silence. Bowman alleged that Cosby had assaulted her in 1986 when she was just 18 and under his mentorship while pursuing a modeling career. She claimed that after escaping his attacks, she returned to her home in Denver, and her career was subsequently sabotaged by Cosby. On October 16, 2014, during a stand-up performance in his hometown of Philadelphia, comedian Hannibal Buress delivered a scathing critique of Bill Cosby that would reverberate far beyond the comedy stage. Addressing the hypocrisy in Cosby's public persona, Buress targeted the actor's long-standing habit of lecturing young black men about morality, responsibility, and appearance, particularly Cosby's frequent criticism of their clothing and lifestyle choices. Buress turned the tables by sharply calling out Cosby's own history of alleged sexual misconduct, stating, "Yeah, but you raped women, Bill Cosby, so that kind of brings you down a couple notches." At first, the audience responded with an uncomfortable mix of laughter and disbelief, seemingly unsure whether Buress's line was part of an edgy joke or an actual accusation. But Buress pressed on, urging the crowd not to take his word for it. "Google Bill Cosby rape when you get home." It was a bold move that shattered the silence surrounding a subject that had simmered beneath the surface of Cosby's reputation for years. Although Buress had been using the same bit in his routine for about 6 months, it hadn't drawn widespread attention Until now. The tipping point came when Philadelphia Magazine posted a video of the performance online. Within days, Buress's remarks went viral, sparking renewed scrutiny of the many sexual assault allegations that had previously been filed against Cosby but largely ignored or dismissed by the mainstream public. The comedian's blunt accusation served as a cultural jolt, prompting media outlets to revisit past allegations and explore how Cosby had managed to maintain what Buress aptly described as a Teflon image, an unblemished public persona that seemed impervious to scandal. As the video gained traction, the floodgates opened. News organizations, talk shows, and online platforms began revisiting the long history of accusations against Cosby, many of which had remained in the shadows for over a decade. The public discourse shifted dramatically, turning what had once been scattered, discredited voices into a collective and undeniable reckoning. In the wake of this renewed attention, Cosby, or someone from his team, attempted to engage with fans online by inviting them to "go ahead, meme me" in a tweet that was intended to be lighthearted and interactive. But the social media campaign backfired spectacularly. Rather than receiving fun or nostalgic images, the internet responded with a flood of memes referencing the sexual assault allegations. The backlash was swift and severe, leading to the tweet's quiet deletion. Following Hannibal Buress's viral remarks in October 2014, a tidal wave of allegations against Bill Cosby surfaced, sparking one of the most significant reckonings in American pop culture history. In November 2014, Joan Tarshis, who had previously shared her story with a journalist decades earlier, publicly recounted her allegations, marking the beginning of a public cascade of women coming forward. That same month, model and television personality Janice Dickinson alleged in an interview that Cosby had drugged and raped her in the 1980s. Actress Louisa Moritz also stepped forward, claiming that Cosby had assaulted her backstage at The Tonight Show in 1971. Other accusers soon followed, including Carla Ferrigno, wife of actor Lou Ferrigno, who said Cosby had made unwanted advances toward her in the 1960s. Florida nurse Therese Serignes, who alleged she was drugged and assaulted in Las Vegas, and former Playboy playmates Victoria Valentino and Sarita Butterfield, both of whom accused Cosby of drug-facilitated sexual assault. Actress Michelle Hurd shared that she had worked with Cosby and felt uncomfortable around him after he allegedly made inappropriate physical advances. In addition to these women, 11 more came forward in a matter of weeks, bringing renewed urgency and public awareness to the growing list of accusations. Charlotte Laws, a writer and former politician, published an article in Salon in November 2014, alleging that a close friend of hers had been assaulted by Cosby and that the trauma had led to a long silence and loss of contact. In December 2014, Vanity Fair published a powerful essay by supermodel Beverly Johnson, who claimed Cosby had drugged her during a 1986 audition under the guise of testing for a role on The Cosby Show. Johnson wrote that she knew of other women who had similar experiences but were afraid to speak out. Her testimony brought further attention due to her prominence in the fashion world. Cosby's legal team issued denials, focusing especially on Janice Dickinson's claims, stating her account conflicted with previous statements and calling the allegations unsubstantiated. In public statements, Cosby's representatives accused the media of vilification, insisting that he would not dignify the accusations with a response. A joint statement with Andrea Constand clarified that previous public comments were not directed at her case, which had been settled in 2006. Despite legal pushback, more women continued to step forward. In January 2015, Sindra Ladd, former entertainment executive and wife of producer Alan Ladd Jr., alleged that Cosby had drugged and raped her in 1969. In May of that year, actress Lily Bernard publicly accused Cosby of sexual assault in the early 1990s and cooperated with law enforcement in New Jersey, a state with no statute of limitations on rape. However, media reports noted the legal jurisdiction of her case remained unclear. On July 27, 2015, New York Magazine published a historic cover story featuring 35 of Cosby's accusers, seated in identical chairs with a final empty chair symbolizing those yet to come forward. The accompanying interviews revealed a strikingly similar pattern of behavior, Cosby allegedly offering women a drink or pill, which left them incapacitated, followed by assault. According to Vox, the timeline of these accounts spanned more than 5 decades. By October 24, 2015, nearly 60 women had accused Cosby of sexual assault. The terminology in public discourse had shifted drastically. Accusers and commentators began using phrases like serial rapist and sociopath to describe Cosby. Jewel Allison, one of the accusers, stated bluntly, "We may be looking at America's greatest serial rapist. He got away with it because he was hiding behind the image of Cliff Huxtable." That same month, A&E aired Cosby, The Women Speak, a searing documentary featuring 13 women telling their stories. Their voices, once overlooked or dismissed, now helped fuel a broader cultural shift, one that questioned the protections of fame, exposed systemic silencing, and gave rise to a larger conversation about accountability and justice in cases of sexual violence. Throughout the unfolding controversy surrounding Bill Cosby, he has consistently denied all allegations of sexual misconduct and maintained his innocence. In November 2014, during a surge of renewed public interest following multiple women's accusations, Cosby deflected questions about the matter, famously stating, "I don't talk about it." In other interviews, he expressed disdain for the rumors, telling Florida Today, "People shouldn't have to go through that and shouldn't answer to innuendos." By May 2015, as media coverage intensified, Cosby remarked, "I have been in this business 52 years, and I've never seen anything like this. Reality is a situation, and I can't speak." Nevertheless, the consequences of the allegations were swift and significant. Numerous institutions began to distance themselves from Cosby. Syndication for The Cosby Show and other Cosby-led programming was pulled by major networks, effectively erasing him from the television landscape. Over 25 colleges and universities rescinded honorary degrees previously awarded to him. The cultural rejection extended to the White House, where the nonprofit PAVE, promoting awareness and victim empowerment, launched a petition on whitehouse.gov in July 2015, urging President Barack Obama to revoke Cosby's Presidential Medal of Freedom, which had been awarded in 2002. Although Obama did not mention Cosby by name, he firmly stated, "If you give a woman, or a man for that matter, without his or her knowledge, a drug, and then have sex with that person without consent, that's rape." However, he noted that no mechanism existed for rescinding the medal. Most of the accusations against Cosby were barred from prosecution due to statutes of limitations, but legal challenges persisted. High-profile attorney Gloria Allred represented 33 of Cosby's alleged victims in various civil suits. In a pivotal moment in July 2015, portions of Cosby's 2005 deposition from Andrea Constan's civil suit were unsealed. In the testimony, Cosby admitted to obtaining Quaaludes with the intent of giving them to women he wanted to have sex with, and to engaging in extramarital affairs involving the use of sedatives. These admissions shifted public perception and proved influential in later legal proceedings. In April 2018, after a mistrial in 2017, Cosby was found guilty of 3 counts of aggravated indecent assault against Andrea Constand. He was sentenced in September 2018 to 3 to 10 years in state prison, fined $25,000, and required to pay court costs. Cosby was initially held at Montgomery County Correctional Facility before being transferred to SCI Phoenix, a state prison in Pennsylvania, where he was held in solitary confinement before joining the general population. Despite a failed appeal in 2019, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court agreed in 2020 to review whether Cosby's due process rights had been violated. The court focused on whether Cosby's self-incriminating deposition, used in his criminal trial, should have been protected under an earlier promise from District Attorney Bruce Castor, who in 2005 had publicly stated he would not prosecute Cosby to facilitate Constan's civil suit. Cosby relied on this promise when waiving his Fifth Amendment rights during deposition. On June 30, 2021, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court overturned Cosby's conviction, citing this violation of his due process rights. Justice David Wecht wrote, "Even though society has a strong interest in prosecuting crimes, it has an even stronger interest in ensuring that the constitutional rights of the people are vindicated." Cosby was released the same day, having served nearly 3 years. In March 2022, the U.S. Supreme Court declined to hear the state's appeal, leaving the Pennsylvania Supreme Court's ruling intact. Cosby's legal troubles did not end there. In 2014, Judy Huth filed a lawsuit in California, alleging that Cosby sexually assaulted her in 1975 when she was just 16 years old. After years of legal back and forth, the case finally went to trial in 2022. The jury ruled in Huth's favor, ordering Cosby to pay $500,000 in compensatory damages. Though now free from criminal charges, Cosby continues to face the civil consequences of decades of accusations. What do you think about Bill Cosby? Leave us your comments in the section below. We hope you have found this helpful video. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. Thank you for watching this, and see you in the next videos. Goodbye.